So a common question I see online is, which pattern should I use? And with that, developers usually mean like, which UI pattern should I use? And my answer to that question is that it doesn't matter. Like really, it doesn't. Yes, you need to pick a pattern, right? If you're building something, you have to figure out, okay, I'm going to use MVC, MVVM, whatever combo of letters you want to use. But if an app lives a long time, it's going to have a mix of patterns, right? You may, for example, start with the UIKit app, and this app may start with MVC. And then someone in your team says, you know what, forget this MVC, MVVM is the better pattern, so now everybody switches to MVVM. And then Apple comes, and Apple says, you know, this UIKit thing, just forget about that one. Let's just all switch to Swift UI now. So now I'll move to Swift UI. And again, now we have to figure out, okay, which pattern works here? Are we going to use MVVM? Maybe it doesn't work that well. So maybe it should be TCA or whatever pattern it is that's trending that day. So the real question is, it's not so much like, which pattern should I use? Which pattern is the best? But more like, how can we survive all these migrations, these UI migrations? Right? Because if we are first building UIKit MVC, and then we have to migrate to MVVM, then we have to migrate to Swift UI, then migrate to TCA or migrate to VM, whatever it is, it's a lot of work. So the real question should be, how can I make my features survive all these migrations, right? Whether it's self-imposed or imposed by Apple or Google. And I think the answer is, try to figure out a way to make your features more portable. And with that, I mean, in a simple term, put more stuff in the model layer, less stuff in the UI layer. It sounds very simple to say, and it's a lot of work, I know. But if you're kind of mindful about how your code is not in the model layer, but in the UI layer, well, the more you put in the UI layer, you realize, well, the more I'm going to have a migration later. Whether it's a new pattern, new paradigm. But that's not all, right? You get a lot more benefits too. Because if your feature is portable, it means it can run on multiple platforms. It can run multiple targets. It can, like, for example, run as a command line tool, headless client. It's easier to unit test. Your features may be able to run on new wearables, VR helmets, whatever it is nowadays. You really don't have to think about UI as much. So if you keep your UI models, if you keep your business models kind of fat and the UI layer kind of thin, then you're in a much better position.